know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports development, including this year's basketball championship finals, the NHL hockey conference finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code, that's BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. We're back on a Wednesday night. You guys will be hearing this Thursday morning. But JD, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, my man? How you doing? Hey, look, it's hot out here in Kentucky. It's real hot, humid. Went to the pool the other day on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm a little cooked. It was warm out there, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cool water, playing with my kids, my children, and my grandson, my little grandson. So,
I mean, that's what summer's for. In Virginia too. I mean, I think we get similar weather in Virginia and Kentucky. It's been hot, humid, and muggy. I mean, it's kind of like that. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
We'll say though, just do it. You go stay outside, do nothing. You're going to sweat all those toxins out. So it's not bad to sweat out some stuff.
Yeah. Just make sure you're not, depleting all of, or your salt, all your electrolyte, all those things just going out because people are like, oh yeah, man, I sweated. Well, shoot, you're losing pounds, you're living like water. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, especially like in this type of weather, we know this, playing football, people know this anyway. Mm-hmm. But, sometimes when you're out there and you think, well, I'm thirsty now. Well, when you start drinking and you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And so people, listen to me. If you're thirsty during this time, it means you're already dehydrated. So you should already drink. You're prepping ahead to make sure you get enough water and liquid in there. That's right here. I'm telling you, I'm drinking this water, making sure. All right. Oh, and like we said, we're gonna put some of these things out here, probably for the Chiefs Concerns. What we talking about?
Again, once we get the website, the merch up, we'll have
the merch. Yeah, the merch. Yeah.
But yeah, we will have the Chief Concerns water bottles when we do get the website up. So be mindful of that. Lots of stuff to get into with the Chiefs this week. I know 2 weeks ago we had the tease of the Tyreek Hill audio where like everyone's like, oh well, was he underutilized? Well, what did he mean by that? We got a lot on that. So we're going to start this week. I know it's mandatory minicamp this week as well, but we'll be discussing that. But we're going to start this week with the Tyreek Hill podcast. You ready to dive in?
Yeah. How'd that go? I don't know. How'd the podcast go?
If you go on Twitter, I'm sure you saw a lot of people, getting pissed off about what Tyreek Hill had said. And then Shannon, this week was pretty good. Shannon Sharp kind of went in on Tyreek Hill for what he said. Stephen A. Smith went in for on Tyreek Hill for what he said. So we'll get into that right now. So the first concern tonight. So It Needed to Be Said podcast came out this week. Or on the 10th. And he came in with some jabs on our guys, including saying that he thinks Tua is a more accurate quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Who got the strongest arm? Tua or Pat Mahomes? Tua or Patrick Mahomes? Obviously, like I'm going to go with 1.5 as the strongest arm. But as far as accuracy-wise, I'm going with Tua all day. So which one would you rather have? The deep ball where you got to scramble around the field to try to go find it? Nah. You want that accuracy to hit you right in the bread basket on the run.
I wanted to hit me right in the bread basket, just like I did in the Buffalo Bills game and take it 70.
That was one segment that a lot of people had problems with. Okay. You also went on to say Pat is going to struggle without him. and that he wanted to get the same treatment as Pat, which is I think that part's kind of weird. I get the first thing, but the worst part, the weird part was that not getting the same treatment as Pat.
I don't care about notoriety, though. I don't care about none of that, man. I'm from South Georgia, dog. Only thing I care about is respect within the building. Notoriety outside the building, I don't care about none of that, man, because none of that ain't going to win us games on Sunday. Point. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick, Kelce, they can have all of that. They can have all of that. But look, this is what I want inside the building. I want the head coach to know that on Sundays that defenses fear Tyreek Hill. That's what I want the head coach to know. And the head coach do know that, though. He know that. He know that without the cheat on the field, he know that, hey, Pat, you're going to have a long day today. You know what I'm saying? Pat, he heck of a quarterback, hell of a player. I love him to death, but come on, man. Sometimes I just want people to just be like, hey, Tyreek, like him. You know what I'm saying?
That was a quote, another one that people thought was an odd one. And then lastly, this kind of talks about the whole underutilization that we talked about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Tyreek Hill didn't say that, but Tyreek Hill talks with Agent Drew Rosenhaus. He said, Drew, tell him about the texts. His text he's alluding to, he would text Drew Rosenhaus about earlier on in the season. He started texting him about underutilization.
There was a lot of times during the year that we felt that Tyreek was underutilized and wasn't fully appreciated, and that they really weren't taking full advantage of all of his ability and talent. But Tyreek's a trooper. He never made a peep about it. He
never went to the
was
media.
Extremely professional, but Tyreek was a real champion and handled it. But it was frustrating on many occasions. After a number of games, Tyreek and I would communicate, and it was frustrating that he wasn't given a chance to do more to help the team in their efforts to win games.
There's a lot here, and I suggest go to that episode. It's about 52 minutes long. It's pretty good. Probably about 30 minutes of it is devoted to the whole Chiefs topics, so it's really good stuff. But these are the biggest parts of him kind of going at the Chiefs for certain things. So JD, now that we've heard what he had to say about the Chiefs and Patrick and Andy and Travis, what do you have to say about this podcast episode?
What do I have to say about this podcast, this episode on Tyreek Hill? I mean, to be honest, I don't know what, really what to expect other than, part of it was to reel everybody in to come watch his podcast. And he accomplished that. He did. So I watched a little bit of it. I watched a little from those excerpts of him kind of saying those things. So I'll tell you what, man. To me, it just really seemed that it was unnecessary for Tyreek to say those things. But you could tell that there's some pain behind his words. That's what I took at it. Just for the simple fact that he was talking about he wanted to stay with the Chiefs, talk to Andy. Andy was like, hey, do you want to be here? He was like, yeah, I want to be here. Matter of fact, I don't even need to be the highest paid, wide receiver. I just want to be here with the Chiefs. And so, it's always, and I said this before, when you get into a relationship, this is a relationship. And you gotta liken it to that, because really, you're spending a lot of your time at the facility, you're getting to know people. This is your family. This is your family. Outside of your main family, because you spending most of your time with them. You're going out to eat. You joke with them. Man, you're doing. All day. It's all day, every single day. It's like that, and so. I knew it was going to be a little bit of, feeling sour. That's what it kind of seemed like. And so, the bitterness, I think, kind of entails from just that, not being signed again, with the Chiefs, or, losing out, or he's maybe feeling like, they didn't fight hard enough for me, or they knew what I can do, but yet, they didn't meet my demands as far as, paying me. So that's my take on it. That's my take on it. And so we'll go into kind of, what you were talking about, some of the points he made. The point of him not saying that he was being utilized enough, I think a lot of that is just, ego talking. I mean, he's talking like one of the best wide receivers should talk in the NFL. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know a guy. Well, I take that back. This is not true. I was going to say I don't know a guy that's a top wide receiver that doesn't talk noise. There's some guys that do it with a great amount of grace. Doesn't really sit down and chirp a lot about what they do. But Tyreek he's completely confident in his abilities, no doubt about it. Okay, and let me just say this here, all right, because I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter. I've seen people kind of rant and rave all these different things about Tyreek. Listen, without a doubt, love him or hate him, and however these things played out, Tyreek Hill came to Kansas City and helped win a Super Bowl, bar none, without a doubt. And so to think that, we don't go to 4 AFC championship games and 2 Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill, to me is completely ridiculous. I mean, to make that argument, to me, is just sitting there saying, well, shoot, now it sounds like you got sour grapes. I get it. Look, as fans and the guys who play the game or whatnot, you want a guy to have, a little bit more loyalty, to, the team and what he's doing. I get that part of it. But also, too, what we're not going to do, we're just not going to do is we're not going to sit here and act like this guy was like chopped liver. We're just not going to do it. We're not going to sit here. And I heard somebody say, well, the Chiefs gave him an opportunity. Listen, the Chiefs and Tyreek, both benefited mutually. It was a mutual benefit on both parties, without a doubt. Okay. So the thing is, he's cheated for a reason. He's one of the best, explosive weapons in the NFL right now, and probably will be of all time, to be honest with you. I mean, we know his ability to catch the football and almost go hit his head on the goalpost every other time, right? Every chance he got. And I think Tyreek, that's part of like him sitting there saying, like, look, I wasn't being utilized because I want the ball all the time. That's what he's saying. He wants the ball all the time. It was funny because I heard Keyshawn kind of talk about it, and I started laughing before Keyshawn started talking because I was just like, I want to hear what Keyshawn's going to say. Of all people, all people having egos wanting the football, I want to see what Keyshawn had to say. And so he's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you get it. Y'all know you get it. Because he just wanted to be fair. And for somebody who's a vital part of the offense, who is that weapon, who is that, one hit and go get it, he's that guy. He wants the ball in his hands. Mm. And I don't think he's really knocking anybody else down by saying that. I think what he's doing is he's showing his ability, right? I think he's just putting it out there, letting everybody, because everybody knows, but he's just like, look, man, I'm Tyreek Hill. If we're in a bind, get me the football. I don't care what we need to do. I don't need to go on a deep route. Put me on a shallow cross. Put me on a reverse. Whatever you need to do to get the ball in my hands for me to get out of this, then so be it. Let me have it. Yeah. And so I know, like a top wide receiver, he's looking at stats all around the league. Okay, he's looking on the other side of the ball. Who else is getting catches? Mm. That's how it works. And so he brought up the Baltimore game where he caught 3 passes, I think, for a certain amount of yards. Yeah. I know he was pissed, right? So, look, we know teams played, that too high shell, okay? Dropping 8 to make sure you stop Tyreek Hill and the passing game with Patrick Mahomes, right? Because that's what we leaned on. That's what we was leaning on, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. That's the three-headed monster. I mean, it was hard to stop in the league. And so, the games bear it out. The numbers bear it out. But a guy that is as explosive as he is, he just wanted the ball in his hands. That was it. So what's the other two? And, because I want to let you kind of talk in between, all right? So I don't want to go on.
You're good. You're good. The other point, and I will say, because that was a top, not that he was underutilized, but I think he could have been utilized more. And I think, and we had that topic on the show after we lost the Bengals game with like, could we use him more in the backfield, like more like Debo? And I think, and the report so far that McDaniels, being the OC from San Francisco, they want to use him more like Debo in that kind of that role. And you can kind of tell Tyreek's kind of like bulked up this offseason. So maybe they are going to use him in that role, which I'm excited to see him in that role if they do use him like Debo.
Well, look, and I think it's a great point. I think, it's almost saying the same thing because people are saying, well, look, he's not going to be as successful as he was in Kansas City. He's still Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. You get the ball in his hand. He's still going to go hit his head on the goalpost. I don't care where you put him. I don't care if he's in, I don't know who's the worst team, the Jets or Jacksonville. I don't care where you put him. Yeah. He's still going to be explosive on the football field. So he just has that ability, and we can't forget the amount of people he can make miss. I mean, we're talking about like I said, like a 5-yard, shallow cross, and then taking it to the house, peace signs up to people. Come on, man. Let's just be honest here, okay? He's a weapon.
You're one of a kind.
So like yeah. And so just like Debo, can Debo go other places and do what he did in San Fran? Possibly, right? Because of his makeup. Now, we don't know if they're utilizing him like that, but like you said, McDaniels, he's without a doubt. Look, they got Waddle and they got McDaniel, and Tyreek. It's going to look, them guys going to be explosive down there. And Gesicki, the tight end, they got some guys now. They do. They got some guys down there. So they're gonna be, a pretty good offense. And look, I'm not taking anything away from Tua. And I want to be fair to him also. I think Tua's a good quarterback. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Okay, let's just be honest about that too. He's not Patrick Mahomes. All right, but Tua, he's the guy that won the championship. Okay, in college. We know his ability, what he can do. Scrambling and throwing the football. It's going to take him a couple of years to really get acclimated into the NFL, right? I think Tua's going to be a decent quarterback. I think he will. But to say that he's more accurate than Patrick, hey man, you've only had him for a few weeks. I get it, right? Part of your job, okay? Part of your job as a player when you go to a new team is the guy that's throwing the football to you supposed to be as great as sliced bread. He's supposed to be. If you're not talking about him, hey man, this guy right here he's throwing darts to me. I mean, everything's on the money. I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. But don't slander your other team. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go into that part of trying to make your point. Okay. You can say, look, Tua's a absolutely wonderful quarterback. Patrick's Patrick, Tua's Tua. Okay. I don't have to compare them to. Patrick, without a doubt, is one of the top quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't think nobody's going to argue that. I don't think somebody's going to be like, boo, Tua is. Oh, like you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
We watched him. So we know he's going to have some bumps and bruises. It's going to be easier because he got you down there, Tyreek. It's going to be easier because he got Waddle down there with him. I get that. But to say he's more accurate than Patrick, I don't know. We'll wait and see until after the couple of years you play with him, okay, how these things go. And if you're just handing them off, well, then he's going to be very accurate, right?
Exactly.
He's handing off to you. He's going to be 100%, really. Yeah. So, short passes, I could throw a short pass. Look, I'll throw a dart 5 yards at 10.
Tight end double pass?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Pass.
So all those things are going to come up. But I just want to say that. I just want to kind of put it out there that, we need to be fair to each other. Tyreek really didn't have to go that far, but I don't like fans going in and saying like, oh, he's not doing this and now look, man, Tyreek was one of the most explosive players to play in the NFL and for the Chiefs. Yeah. And that's not going to go away. That right there, I don't think it's going to be blemished for him sitting there saying like, I just wanted the football to make the Chiefs win. Yeah. That's how I took it. When guys have egos that plays these positions, I don't care if you're wide receiver, defensive tackle, defensive end, safety, kicker, punter, or you're the water boy. You're going to be the best water boy when you're out there. You're going to let them know, look, I got the new Gatorade. I'm the one bringing out the cold drinks, okay? I'm that guy. So be it.
And 10, 15 years, and 15 to 20 years time, he'll be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor at some point. So
come on. Yeah.
This is all just pretty much noise. But I will say, yeah, you made the point about Tua. He hasn't even played in a game with Tua yet. He's already, he's already buttering him up. He wants those targets. He wants the ball.
Right.
He's gonna butter him up.
That's right.
But did you kind of see this kind of like because it was not only the accuracy comment, he also said the comment about it's gonna be rough without Tyreek Hill there. I mean, I forgot what the exact quote was, but essentially said it's gonna be rough it's gonna be a long day for Patrick without me there. Talking about how Patrick's gonna struggle without him, and then he also had that comment about where's the exact hey Pat, you're gonna have a long day, or no. Sometimes I just want people to be like, treat me like him. And he was talking about Pat there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems like it's kind of like a sour grapes towards Patrick. I mean, he dogged his accuracy, and then he talks about Patrick's going to struggle without him. And then he also said he wanted to be treated like Patrick. It's like everyone knows in every sport, you're a receiver, you're a tight end, you're always going to be treated differently than the quarterback. Quarterbacks are always going to be treated differently, no matter how good the quarterback is. Naturally, the quarterback gets preferential treatment, right? I mean, that's just how it is, right?
I'm not, yeah, without a doubt. It definitely is. I just think that statement there right there, he just felt like he wasn't, I don't think, appreciated as much because he's not the face of the franchise. He's not on the billboards everywhere. He's not doing the national commercials. He's not that face of the Chiefs. And sometimes when a guy's like, man, I'm the star, shoot, I'm the one helping make Patrick, right? That's part of that ego coming in. It's the voices that's talking to you. And so that's part of like that kind of gnawing at him, like, hey, man, look, Patrick does something wrong. Nobody gets on Patrick. You don't really hear about all the grumblings about how bad Patrick is. It's like, he's the perfect guy, because he kind of, threw some like, the Wonder Boy gets here and it's all, he's does this. And, so I think it was part of that, like thinking that, maybe I'm the third wheel in this whole deal. Yeah. Because first off, they're talking about Patrick. Second, they talk about Travis, and I'm the third guy. And he probably believes he's the number one guy. He should be. I'm the number one wide receiver. I'm the cheater. I'm the cheater, right? And so I think that's what that was. And it's like, I don't think it was a slight toward Patrick. I think it was just to him and saying like, man, daggone, like, can I get some of that love too? Yeah. Hey man, look, if something goes wrong and you to blame, you got to take the blame. You got to take it. And I think maybe he thought like Patrick was kind of, the Teflon kid. Because, regardless of what happened, nobody really criticized Patrick as much. So
if a quarterback getting the limelight's bothering him, then he's going to a perfect situation because Tua is more of like an underdog right now. Whereas if he does do well, it's like, oh wow, okay, Tua's all right. But like, going to a situation where quarterback's definitely beneath him as level. I think he likes the situation. It sounds like.
Oh man, he's going to be the big dog down in Miami. Yeah. He's going to get all the love right now, man. And the Dolphins, they opened their arm, welcome him in open arms. Yeah, and they should. They should. So, like I said, man, I'm just not going to, sit there and the guy he's supposed to say all the things with the team he's going to about the quarterback who's supposed to be talking about. He's supposed to be talking about how great his ability is and be confident in that. And I think he's saying it in words that we don't quite like him saying it in. Right. But that's how he feels, and he says it that way. So, but also too, he was like, man, I don't like the limelight. Look, let Patrick have it. Let Travis have it. Yeah. But in the same sense, there's a little ego right there back, like, hey man, you deserve a little bit at honey too, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe not getting the love. Yeah. So, but also too, man, we always talk about it's the same thing, the voices that you hear, right? And so on his podcast, obviously it's his lawyer, and of course it's Drew. Drew's going to be, look, Drew, all he's worried about is contracts. Okay, mm-hmm. He's worried about Tyreek, how much he's going to get paid, because he's going to get paid off of it. And so Drew was like, yeah, we felt like he wasn't being utilized. Okay. Every time, you come off, if your agent in sitting there saying, you should have been in a game more, or you should have had more catches or more runs or more touches.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of that guy. You know, he's like, no, they did you okay. What? You know, he's supposed, you work for me. So whatever I feel, you're supposed to feel the same way.
Yep.
So if I'm feeling down, you should be like, yeah, down. Oh, yeah, right? If I'm angry, you're supposed to be upset like, yeah, you're true, right? Yeah. He's supposed to be in your corner, and that's Drew. It's his cut man. It's his corner man. That's what he's doing, right?
It's his hype man, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be there. So
yeah, I mean, I guess for me, and I guess I can speak for a lot of Chief fans here, the ones who were kind of pissed off, you know, and I'm not going to say, oh, we would have done what we did, the success we've had for the last 4 years without him. It's ridiculous. But I will say, I think we've had in the history in the NFL, we've had a lot of like big time receivers lead their teams, and they don't really go on these kind of like, you know, lambastings of their last quarterback, their other teams and stuff. They don't really do that in a public manner like this. I mean, I know his podcast is all about it needed to be said. He wants to say these things, but like there's a classy way to do things. I don't know. I don't think this was the classiest way to kind of leave a team and to do this, because now it's just like, all right, you made enemies with a lot of the fan base who adored you and will be wearing your jerseys, you know, for forever, really, you know.
Yeah, I just thought that was ill-conceived for him to do that and come in and say it that way. I just do. Like I said, there's no reason for him to go in and slander anybody, which I don't think it was really that much of a slander, but him just sitting there saying like, hey, I didn't get as much touches, or I'm not getting as much love and stuff. You know, I think he should have probably thought that through.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, man, that's his platform. And look, this day and age is what it's all about. So if it's not on social media, and you blowing and tooting your own horn, or your fans doing it for you, then you ain't really doing nothing, right?
Yeah, I agree. No, I 100%. And I will say, as far as, you know, we talk about legacy, you know, and no matter what happens with, he can go to Miami and, you know, do nothing, right? They you know, not have the best seasons that he's had, like Bruce in Kansas City. But no matter what he does in Miami, he'll always have what I think second in most of our receiving categories. Had a Super Bowl ring. I mean, no matter what, his legacy, you can't say cemented. So it's like, don't throw the dirt in the eyes of the fans who are always going to love you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You go to Miami and it may turn out to be nothing. You don't win any Super Bowls there. You don't really do much there. At the end of the day, you're always going to go back to what you did in Kansas City, and those are fans who are going to, you know, continue to love the Cheetah. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing I kind of run me off the wrong way.
You know, I think, you know, part of the problem is because, you know, as fans, you know, and the players, we get emotionally invested into everything. Yeah. And so sometimes people feel, hey, this guy right here, because, you know, I'm just going off on this too. You know, people talking about and have their opinions about, you know, Orlando Brown Jr. and his contract and him getting paid, and, you know, how this is going to work. And this guy, he's going to be the good and whatnot. Look, these are all opinions. Okay. And so when somebody is emotionally invested into these things and you feel like somebody is taking a dump on you or saying something like that, then human nature is to come back. Right. But let's not be, you know, outlandish in what you know, what, you know, what we think these things are. Right. It's like, okay, just take a step back. Hey man, let him go. Hey, you know what? Have a good time to Tyreek down there. Have a good time in Miami. Okay. Oh, well.
Yep. And for me, I think a lot of Chief fans, that's the only episode I think Chief fans will be listening to, because unless he has Patrick Mahomes in the episode, I don't think anyone's going to be wanting to listen to the podcast. Yeah. Last thing I'll say is, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that somebody might sneak in every once in a while and see what he peek in. Man, what, you know, it's almost like the train wreck. What's this? What do you got to say this week?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
What else is coming out? Right. So,
but, you know, talk about Patrick Mahomes, you know, without Tyreek Hill, and the 5 games without Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes has a quarterback rating of 103.1. He had 1,737 yards passing, 8 touchdowns to 1 interception in the 5 games without Tyreek Hill. So,
Patrick, look,
solid.
Patrick and the Chiefs are going to be fine. They are. They will make it. They will make it. So sometimes that's that like I said, the ego. You hope they don't do well.
Yeah.
Because then they like, man, we missed Tyreek, or we should have talked. Because then they talk about you. I keep going back to relationships. If you break up with somebody and you see him with somebody new, you hoping that person's thinking in their head, I made a wrong decision, get with this new person, right? But they don't do the same thing that JD did, or they don't do the. Well, I'm phenomenal what I do, but I'm just saying, So
right. I get it.
Yeah, man. So hey, I don't know.
And we celebrate one of the biggest breakups in NFL history with Brady and the Patriots, and there wasn't anything like this. And Tom Brady's a very public guy. He's got, he's very out there. Nothing. There was nothing there. He actually denied allegations of him and Belichick having bad blood. I mean, maybe there is bad blood between the two, but they both denied that.
He held back from saying what he wanted to say. I think in the way that he did it, I think it was a little bit more a lot better than how Tyreek said it, And so Tom just kind of like, hey man, I'm gonna leave it out. I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm gonna let my career talk about it. I'm gonna let that go from where it is. You don't entertain these things. And sometimes, like I said, all the salacious stuff, you don't entertain. Yeah. But some guys fall for it, man. The fans fall for it. We all fall for it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And Tyreek could have started that podcast, and he would have had a ton of Dolphins fans, a ton of Chiefs fans tuning into that. Now he's really segmented himself where you're going to have a one fan base that will not be tuning in because of the episode. He could have had a bigger demographic, but now he just has the Miami demographic right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's fans that still love him, right? I ain't mad at the guy. Yeah. Okay. You had to go do what you had to do. Chiefs had to do what they had to do. It's all business, man. That's how it works in the NFL. So.
Got five picks for him, so
got 5 picks, man. The Chiefs are gonna be fine. Okay, Tyreek, we'll see you in Miami, buddy. Okay, have a good one.
All right, so then I know a lot of Chiefs fans are kind of done with Tyreek Hill stuff, but that's it. That's the last Tyreek Hill, probably the last Tyreek Hill segment on this show.
No. Hey, look, all right.
We'll see. We'll see. But okay, so big news. So last week, the next topic, we talked about Kareem Hunt, the whole Kareem Hunt saga. He might, be cut, he might be traded. We were talking about the running back room, how that'd be a nice addition. That didn't happen. I mean, Kareem Hunt's still in the Browns right now, but we ended up going to get another former Chief to bring back onto the team. We brought back Jerrick McKinnon, who tore it up at the end of last season. I mean, he dominated the playoffs. He was awesome. He gave a new life to our kind of our running game. And some could say if we used him more in the AFC Championship game, maybe we might have been in the Super Bowl, but not really going to go into that. But JD, what were your thoughts on bringing back Jerrick McKinnon on that 1-year deal? And what do you make of this and the entirety of the current running back room that we have in Kansas City?
Honestly, I was wondering what we was waiting on. I mean, for real. I mean, he was a guy, without a doubt, that I thought we should have kept in the room. So I don't know if it was something like, hey, go ahead and make your way, see if somebody else could sign you. And, if you can, then much success, right? Because part of it was trying to recoup his career. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get back to say he was healthy. He's back in, whatever form he's in to still play. He's, still effective. And he showed that. He showed that in the playoffs. In the times he got into the game, he made the most out of each and every opportunity he was out there. To me, my estimation, from actually like really looking at him, I thought he was the best pass blocking running back out there, without a doubt. I mean, he knew where everybody was coming from, and that's the veteran presence in him. That's him knowing what his capability is and what he had to do. That's his assignment. And so he did that really well. So that's what I was thinking of, man. Why wouldn't we bring McKinnon back? So I was a big fan of him. I was a huge fan of McKinnon. I thought he should have got more touches, to be honest with you. In the playoff game when we started, bringing CEH, which, he's a guy that was coming back and we hoped, he was going to be able to come back to form after the injury. But McKinnon was hot. He was absolutely hot. And so, man, he had a hot hand, man. Like I said, during the whole playoffs. Like I said, man, he took advantage of every opportunity. So to me, this just makes sense, right? Kareem Hunt, yeah, it didn't happen. Jerry McKinnon, hey, man, shoot. Welcome home, baby. Welcome home. And so I think right now in that room, what that's going to do is you have CEH, you have Rojo, you have McKinnon, you still have Gore, Pacheco, and who else you got? You got the
undrafted running back from Ole Miss, Jerrion Ely.
Ely, yeah. So, I mean, the room, I mean, honestly, Jerry McKinnon there just got better. That's what I feel like. It just got better. So he's your Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. He can do it all. He really can. And so I've always been a fan, man, with him ever since he was up in Minnesota. Tried to get him on my fantasy a couple of different times, and he got it. I was like, that guy. And, hopefully he'll come back. But, man, he looks like he's a very jubilant guy, high energy. When I was at the game, man, he was the one that was talking to everybody, riling everybody up, dancing, going to each and every player. A guy like that, man, is just fun to be, to have as your teammate. And so I think this is absolutely bodes well for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said, I think we just got better in the backfield. I really do.
So that would be, we named 6 guys we named. So Rojo,
yes.
CEH, McKinnon,
Gore,
Pacheco, and then Ely. So that's 6.
Ely. Yeah.
Realistically, how many are we carrying, and what guys do you think are going to be in the chopping block? I mean, obviously, we need to go through training camp preseason, but right now, where would you kind of lean on the how many running which ones we would keep?
I mean, you got to go in with 3 every game. I mean, that's just that's standard that you have to do. So then you'll probably have maybe one guy that's who's going to be at least 4 for without a doubt on the roster.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have another guy probably on practice squad. I don't think you carry 2, but you may. I don't know. Depends on how you feel like you're going to get out of special teams wise. Right. And so I think that's what it boils down to. So I think probably in my estimation, when I'm looking at, I think Pacheco, because of what he can do, his speed. Like I've seen videos of him like catching punts and maybe kickoffs and stuff like that. He's a guy who's fast. He's big. He's going to play a lot of special teams. I think Ely's a lot smaller guy. So I don't know. I went for sure. I'm sure Gore I don't know if he played special teams or not last year. You didn't see him do anything as far as that. I'm sure he was on there for a little bit. But that's what it's going to boil down. It's going to boil down to. Can you play special teams? And that guy that's a 4th running back, you are going to play special teams. Ain't no doubt about it. You ain't sitting over here getting a free ride. Just sitting over here. If you're going to do it, we're going to get you a ticket. And if that's going to get you a ticket, then we're going to put you in street clothes. And street clothes, then we're going to put you on practice squad. So, but right now, the CH, Rojo, McKinnon, man, I like that. I like that rotation. I do. I like that a whole lot. I think it keeps us strong. And then whoever the 4th guy is, I think, Gore, who knows the offense, he's going to be all right. Or if it's going to be, Pacheco, right, of learning. This young, fast, twitchy guy. I kind of watched a little bit of his film, like in college, what he was doing. So my brother actually lived in violence. So he was like, man, I watched him in high school. So he's got some talent. He's got some talent. He looked like he's a pretty strong kid. I'm sorry. But yeah, man, that's what we're looking at.
He's a fast kid. He reminds me of that running back we had in Kansas City a few years back, Nile Davis. One cut and go, and he's a pretty stout kid too.
Yeah, sure. That's all you get. Look, that's all you get in the NFL anyway. Shoot, one cut.
Yeah,
that's all. You better.
Which is perfect for if he is going to play special teams. That's perfect for a kick returner right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Get me to 35 or 40. I'm set. That's what I want.
Right. Because it boils down to, okay, so, all right, you're talking about receiver wise, who's all going to be in the room. Do you want that wide receiver going out there doing special teams, unless he's just a gunner or he's going to be a kick returner? I'm just looking on the roster right now of the guys that we got, wide receiver wise. There's going to be some guys that are not going to play special teams at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. I don't know if you put McCole back there. You might, maybe if you need a play. I think that's the only way you'd be like, okay, go back to the end. Sort of like they did Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek, hey, we need a play. Go ahead, go back there. Field this punt. But
Corey Coleman, that could be his way of getting on the team. I mean, his last year in New York, he averaged about 29.7 yards per kick return that he had. So I mean, he's a good kick, specialist. So he could definitely make the team doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
But as far as the McKinnon signing, going back to his playoff run, we talked about how he didn't get enough touches in that AFC Championship game. He had 12 carries for 65 yards, averaged 5.5 yards per carry in that game.
Okay.
Buffalo, he had about, looking at the stats, 10 carries, 24 yards, kind of a rough game, but he had 5 catches, 54 yards in that game. And then the first round, 12 carries, 61 yards against the Steelers, and 6 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown in that. So I mean, he really did it all for us in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, it's productive. It's productive. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. And so we ain't going against somebody who's not. This is playoff. This is playoff time.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh, you're talking about the Bills. Yeah, man. McKinnon. I mean, shoot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, he's a great signer. Like I said before, man. To me, he's a Swiss Army knife. Plays high level with a lot of energy. I like him. I always have.
Yeah. His whole thing was their talent. It was just staying healthy. And last year he didn't play for most of the season because he was kind of like injured, and then we brought him out.
Back into it, right? Yeah. And
we brought him out at the end of the season against the Bengals, his first game back, and then Denver. So I mean, if as long as he can stay healthy, I mean, he's a solid guy. 1-year deal, so obviously we don't really have much invested in him. But hey, if he can do what he did last year in that playoff stretch, do it all season long. I mean, yeah, that's just another element to the offense with CEH and with Ronald Jones that Ronald Jones brings to our offense now. So I mean, it's gonna be the right back rooms. It's like not a lot of big names, but those are guys who are talented guys who have done something. And CEH still making his way, but Rojo and McKinnon have shown flashes of being great in the NFL.
Solid guys, man. Solid guys, no doubt about it. I think those guys are rotation. I don't care what team you go to, they're in rotation. So that was a great signing by the Chiefs, man. Yeah. Great signing coming back. So we'll see. We're happy for him.
Yeah, I'm surprised his playoff run didn't earn him like a bigger paycheck for somebody else, like a 3-year deal or something. I mean, I don't know. People are just put off on injuries, right? If you have a history of them, and they didn't get to see you the past year, they're like, okay, why did the Chiefs not resign you? Right? That's the question. Well, okay, we want to take this. Yeah. So the Chiefs like, nah, look, man, hey, we got you. Yeah. We got you. No, it's another piece and another guy to bring in for the training camp to see who can compete for it. So it's gonna be we have a lot. It's like we talk about. We have 6 running backs, 1 million receivers. So it's gonna be interesting to see who fights it out and makes the rosters. That I can't wait for the roster cuts. Guys' livelihoods, but I can't wait to see what the 53 man looks like because there's a lot of talent on this team.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Look, man. I'm gonna say this. I don't think people realize how tough it is to make an NFL roster. I mean, seriously. I know we say people's names and hey, this guy, and he's gonna be great for us. And this sucker's fighting for his life out there, literally for his career. And so you getting evaluated day in or day out. I mean, I've seen first rounders being cut, after the first and second year. I mean, it really has. Second and third, like it is tough. It's all about consistency. It's all about you showing up every single day to perform at your best ability, and them, believing in you that you're going to be able to do it on the field consistently. It's one thing when you do it in practice, that's one thing, right? But it's different when you're going against somebody, who's an all-pro, right? Who you going to be against? Aaron Donald,
yeah,
right? Von Miller, okay? So,
yeah, no, 100% right, and I think a lot of people, the Twitter GMs, as they call them, they think they know it all. It's like you talk about Justyn Ross, for example. Just a quick one. Everyone thinks he's going to make the team automatically. Just because of what he did a couple years back. He's been injured. He's had some highlight reel type catches in the OTAs and stuff. But he's mysteriously he hasn't been out there for the mandatory minicamp. And you and I said there's a chance that he could just kind of be stashed away on the practice squad. I mean, we don't know what's going on with his injuries. I mean, but if he has an injury, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But, we haven't seen him in two days so far, mandatory minicamp. We haven't seen him yet. So, we never know. We really just never know.
Hey, man, look, what you did a few years ago doesn't matter. What have you done for me lately? That's how the NFL works. And so we can look at your highlights. I get, and if you're working hard, if you're out there and you're showing up, they can see your progress. Absolutely. But we got two examples on the team, on the squad, right? Of Josh Gordon and Corey Coleman. Yep. Okay. First round picks. And everything didn't work out the way that they wanted it to. Right. And so when we're sitting over here, we're looking at it, there's a lot of guys who was tops at their team and, in their conference and whatnot in college. Hey, man, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, it means a little bit, but I'm talking about when you get into the NFL, are you consistent on that? How does he work? Is he a hard worker? Is he getting the offense? Like I said, man, NFL's never had a problem of getting guys and talent into the league. Yeah. Never. So ain't like you need this guy. There's 100 other guys like this with your talent trying to get in. Believe me.
Yeah, I'll never forget as a kid watching the Hard Knocks. The season you were on it was when we cut Rod Gardner. It was like Rod Gardner should make this team, but the slightest little thing, these NFL teams nah, you got to go. It's like even if he was the number 2 or number 3 best receiver we had on that team, the slightest thing the NFL teams was kick you off. It's like wow, it's really it can just happen.
It's business, man. I thought Rod should have made a team too. I'm just gonna put that out there, but that hey, I don't make the decision. So.
I agree with you. Now living in the DC area, I saw Rod Gardner dominate with the Skins or with the Washington Commanders now.
Yeah.
No, I mean it'll be interesting. So I can't wait for the 53-man stuff to happen. Okay, so next topic. This is the interesting one. So first round pick George Karlaftis, the Greek Freak, George the Animal Steel, whatever you want to call him. He said this week that since the pre-draft process, he's lost about 10 to 15 pounds. Now he came into the draft at about 266. So that makes you believe that he's about 250 to 255, maybe. So, and a lot of people actually thought going into that going into training camp and stuff, he was going to be a tweener DND tackle type. But if you're dropping 10 to 15 pounds, it sounds like he's kind of specializing in this pass rush niche or whatnot. But so he said he claims he has worked a lot on his strength, mobility, and speed, trying to transition to becoming a professional. And then with that, he's lost 10 to 15 pounds. So I have to ask you, when you hear that he's lost 10 to 15 pounds from a 266 that he was at the combine, what does that mean to you? And what does that mean to you about a specific pass rush kind of specialist plan they have for him?
Kind of thinking through this, 10 to 15 pounds. You said he came in, we said 266?
266 was what he weighed in at the combine.
At the combine. Okay, so it's probably telling me, after thinking about it, he probably gained a little weight after the combine. He probably tried to slim down at the combine so he can get, obviously his measurables up, speed and all of that, to look slimmer, to look faster. So I'm sure they probably went into it. So he probably gained another 5. He's probably around about 270, something like that. So losing 10 to 260, I'm sure he's probably about 260, 262, somewhere around there, maybe 268. So when he says 15, that's combine was a while ago, right? To now, okay, he probably gained some weight. He got out there, started eating some barbecue and, enjoying a lot of good food, I'm sure. People cooking for him, cakes and all that from the celebration of being drafted.
Yeah.
But I think, that's a professional way of doing things, right? Slimming down, seeing what you could, and the best thing to do is do it right now so you can see how your body actually performs. Okay. How does it work with losing that type of weight? Are you going to be able to retain your strength? Because that's really one of the things, like when you lose weight, is are you going to be able to keep the strength that you had before? Because sometimes people lose weight, they lose strength and, muscle and all that. But if he's slimming down and he's just tightening everything up, which I'm sure now, he's probably got one of the top trainers. If he doesn't, he needs to. And somebody getting him on a diet and all those good things, and so I think that may be what he's doing, getting rid of some of that college baby fat or that college fat, if you will, from eating all the pizzas and all those other things that
all that beer.
Yeah. So like, hey man, you gotta change your lifestyle up, change your body up. And so I think to me, I mean, that's good. Like I said, as long as he's not losing any strength, he's not getting tossed around. If he's still around 255 to 260, hey, that's good. I think that's good for him. I think that's going to be where he's going to be able to be slimmer. He's going to be a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. So, like I said before, he's doing that, then cool. If he's able to be effective, it's all that matters. Shoot, it's all that matters.
I mean, so you think that, and you obviously went through this process, but like from the time he gets drafted, do you think this is kind of corresponding to a plan that maybe the team has for him?
I don't know. Maybe. So the D-line coach who's been around for a long time, I'm sure has been in his ear like, hey, look, if you do this, you do that, no telling how good you're going to be, you'll be. And so, they might have said some things to him about what their plans for him would be for this season. Right. And so him being able to do that, and like you said, correlate with what their plans are, I'm sure that's probably the bigger scheme of things, possibly. And if not, he probably taking it on himself, like, well, shoot, let me go ahead and lose about 5 or 10 pounds. And so when you have a nutritionist will tell you, like, listen, you know what, if you slim down, but if you lose too much of this, you might lose muscle mass. And all. So I'm sure he's listening to, the dietitian, nutritionist, all of that. He's taking all that into account. You just don't on your own, but like, well, I'm just going to lose weight. I'm just going to lose 10 or 15 pounds. Yeah. And you come in and Andy Reid's looking at you like, hold on, who are you? It's not what we drafted. We didn't draft that. So I'm sure somebody had to sign off on what he said he was going to do with his plans. Like, hey, look, what do you think? And like I said, it's best to do it now during the off season, like I said, OTAs and, the mini camps before you get to training camp, because, when you get to training camp, you're just doing a lot of work. Well, shoot, not like we used to. I'm that way. Just put a man out there now, baby. So, but they're going to be working out there in the sun. They're going to be losing a lot of weight. It's going to be hard to keep that weight on them. It's good to kind of see where he's at right now with it. So.
Yeah. And do you think for the fans that thought that he was going to be a tweener DTD, and do you think this kind of cements the fact that he's going to be an edge guy with this kind of 10 to 15 pound talk, or do you think there's still a chance he could play a little bit of inside?
I think he'll do a little bit of both. I think he could. Why not? Why not see, so if he's a guy that may be able to, I don't know, maybe give, maybe Chris a break, maybe, I don't know, maybe, you don't know. But he's going to be more of the edge guy. We know that. Outside defensive end, stand-up guy. That's what we brought him in to be. Yeah. And so that would be his primary role, to be the pass rush guy. But we still need a little weight, when they run the football.
Yeah.
So we can't have two guys out there thin, him and Frank Clark. Shoot.
Yeah.
No.
I will say with the Chris Jones thing, I mean, I don't want Chris taking many breaks just based on our other DT situation. I don't want Chris taking many breaks from on that interior. But we'll say the reports so far out of minicamp, he looks very not slim, but apparently he's been taking care of his body. So whatever you want to take, I mean, that there has been in the past, he's kind of been a little heavier, but apparently he's taking care of himself big time this offseason. He looks pretty good.
Oh, you talking about Chris?
Oh, Chris Jones. Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah. Sure. You see that Aaron Donald money. He like, hey.
Yep.
You never run here.
He probably knew it was coming after he heard it. The Donald retirement talks. He's like, okay. He's saying that he's gonna get paid. I'm gonna be in my tip top shape by the time fall comes around.
Yes, sir. So you got to put a piece of paper of the contract up. How much did Aaron Donald sign? You put that right up there every time I wake up.
Yep.
What I need to see.
But we mentioned Frank Clark. Karlaftis is opposite end, the edge. So yesterday was day one, or we're at Wednesday now. So Tuesday was day one of mandatory minicamp, and that we saw that Frank Clark wasn't there. A lot of people were kind of suspicious as to why he wasn't there. But we found out that he's been excused for the whole entirety of mandatory minicamp. He's welcoming a baby. He's got a baby on the way. So congratulations, Frank Clark.
Congratulations.
I gotta say is one thing before we knew why he was excused, and this is something we've talked about on the show, is a need for an edge. Now, when we didn't know why he was excused, everyone was like, "Oh, I wonder why Frank's not there." And for me, just like looking at it, and actually, when I was thinking of topics for the show, I was like, "Wow, man, this honestly, if Frank's out for however long, we find out that he's got a baby on the way. It's good news." But for the fact that, like, for whatever reason, it's NFL, guys miss games. Frank Clark misses a game. I mean, it's like we're gonna have Karlaftis, a rookie, as our main edge guy. We're gonna have, we have a lot of young guys in the room, but we don't know unproven guys. But like that's kind of scary. And seeing that, it's like, wow. I mean, what are we gonna do? I mean, we need to bring in another edge guy. We thought we were gonna have Ingram. We didn't get Ingram, and now, I mean, if you're the front office and you're seeing this, right? Clark's not there. Are you? I mean, I know what you would do, but like, how it kind of highlights not having another edge guy, and how big of a deal is it that we should be going to get another edge guy before training camp starts? For the fact that if Clark were to go down, we got Karlaftis and Mike Dana or Kane Doe or a hodgepodge of guys who could fill that other edge role. I mean, don't you want to bring in a veteran edge just so we were never relying on an unproven guy to come in? I mean, I don't know. The NFL's got so many unproven guys that we're going to have to see these guys play at some point. But, Robert Quinn is holding out of he didn't attend Bears minicamp, and he's holding out. He wants out. That's a name that we've spat around on the show before. JPP, we talked about. Carlos Dunlap's out there still. What do you think is going on in that room? And would you be, knowing, Clark was out, would you be taking more of a kind of a more keen eye on a possible another edge? I mean, what do you think about the situation? Because I feel like that situation is just such a big deal, having another edge guy.
Look, I think the Chiefs have a contingency plan. And I think they've talked to a couple guys out there, and the guys were saying, look, I'll come to training camp, right? I'll sign and I'll see what you're going to do, see how y'all feel. But right now, I'm going to do my own workout. I'm, veteran guys, for the 1-year deal, I think that's probably what they've been talking to them. And so Frank being out, I don't think they're really panicking. If we get to training camp and we don't see nobody being signed in or, bringing a face, I'm starting to panic. Start getting before, preseason, that week or two before preseason. Hey, man, what's going on? If Frank going to be the guy? And the thing is, because I haven't really heard any grumblings about anybody else. Have you? No. As far as, talking about defensive end, like, oh, this guy looks spectacular. He was, immensely better than this guy. And I don't hear any of that. I don't hear any of that talk. So if it has, then I'm sorry, I missed it. I don't know. And if you're doing well out there as a defensive end, or, hey, man, my fault. I haven't heard it. But I think, they're thinking, Frank definitely is going to be here. George is going to be a guy that's going to be able to give a lot. But like I said, I still think you need a guy. I still think you need that depth. And so, like you said, we got young guys, unproven guys. It could be scary. It could be scary, especially not seeing the progress that you assume guys should be making, especially during this time. And so, especially at the defensive end, we got to see flashes coming from you. I don't care. It's got to be a flash here and there. I need to start listening to the D-line coach and see what he's talking about and see what's going on. But I think they cemented, like you said, with the linebackers and secondary. But that doesn't mean a whole lot if you don't have a pass rush to give pressure or to stop the run. I mean, that's the whole reason the guys are effective, the second, tier in those layers. But I don't know, man. I think Frank, him being out, this deal is letting the young guys get opportunity to show what they can do even more. And so I think right now they're just going to be cutting the weeds down. They're just taking notes. Okay, he showed this, he showed that. How's he going to do being a starter when he comes in, right? Mm. And so if they're not really seeing anything, believe me, they're on the phone.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they better be. Okay. But I know they, they definitely, pretty detailed as far as what they're going to do. Like I said, they're going to have a contingency plan in order if everything doesn't work out. And if they're not getting that, like what they want from those guys, start making some phone calls.
Yeah, and I bring up Robert Quinn as a potential guy. It's a veteran edge rusher. Ryan Poles, the Bears GM, worked for the Chiefs for 13 years, so there could be some kind of scratch my back, you scratch I'll scratch your back kind of thing with the deal. But you brought up a good point though. As a former player, you talk about there's a contingency plan. Veterans may not want to come now. They'll work out with their own people until the summer comes. The legit part of summer and training camp and preseason. How big of a deal is that for veteran guys? Where they want their time off. They want to kind of not time off, but they want to kind of be away until that. Why is that a thing for a lot of veteran guys? They'll wait to sign their 1-year deal.
I think part of it is just kind of the monotony of doing things for a long time. If you've been going to training camps and been in, weight rooms and meeting rooms, going over the same stuff. You're gonna teach a guy about 4-3-3-4. You're like, oh man, that guy's like, shh. He's sitting over there like, man, I could be in Turks and Caicos right now. Having me some on the beach. But I think it's part of it. Part of it is like if they afford you that luxury, hey, by all means, take it. By all means, take it. I had with my own druthers itself. Like when I left from the Chiefs, I had a team that called me and they was just like, look, you can make a decision by training camp. We fine with that, Jason. I ain't got no problem with it. So they allow me to, make a decision. Hey, don't worry about it. Be good. We know what you can do. We already know that. No problem. So we waiting on you. If you want to do it, it's here for you. And so she waited almost 2 years for me, just to see it. I was just like, hey man, I think I'm good. All right. So yeah, man, that's important. That's important for guys. Absolutely.
How much of that is as far as money, right? Like, for example, we want you, and we said we can wait. We'll let you wait till training camp, and we're talking about 1-year deal, a $2 million deal. But like, I guess my whole thing. Let's say JPP is our guy, right? That's the guy we want, and we're like, we're gonna let you wait till training camp to do that. Aren't you, as a GM, aren't I kind of scared that another team will come in and offer JPP a better deal? Is that kind of risk you're taking by letting a player take that time to?
You could, but we know Spags got a rapport with JPP, right? And so if he's telling Spags like, hey man, look, I got you, right? And maybe other teams hadn't really been, ringing his, calling him. His phone's ringing from other teams. He's like, hey, look, if I want to go somewhere, I'm not going to a team that is losing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go to a team that's going to be a contender for the Super Bowl every single year. And so if I know this team is right up there in the upper echelons with the Chiefs are, that's the deal I'm gonna take, right? So I think, even if a guy like JPP gets signed, let's just say they do, okay, he's not going to be the only card in the hand in the deck. He's not, right? So they're going to have other guys that they're probably knocking on doors, and just kind of shaking the trees to see where guys are at. So I'm sure they got at least a list about 4 or 5 guys. That's part of the NFL. And so if you could put a finger on a guy and be like, hey, you just let you don't have to come here for any of this. You're not going to get a workout bonus. Look for you during the summer. I'll let you think about it. Okay. You let us know. And we got your number on speed dial. We need it. Guys are like, man, cool. I got you. All right. It happens. It happens a lot.
Yeah, no, I bet that's why you usually see a flurry of signings right before training camp.
Hey, look, the worst thing you could possibly do as a veteran guy is go in during mini camps and OTAs and somebody hits your knee or your foot or something, who's trying to make the roster. You're like, hey, man, now all of a sudden you done.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with that. You ain't no spring chicken. You ain't no new guy coming in, have to run gases, No.
Yeah. Robert Quinn, though, trading a 4th-round pick for him. No. Would you rather sign one of the guys who's available instead of having to trade an asset for Robert Quinn?
So Robert Quinn deal. So you tell me what's going on with them. So is he seeking like a long-term deal? What's the deal with him? I don't know.
I think he's just unhappy in Chicago. I think that's kind of what I've read.
I can definitely see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
too.
when you're getting up there in years, maybe that's you want to win. But he's unhappy with the situation there at the draft. They were looking for anywhere from a 3 to 5 for him. Now that's post draft. He's still obviously unhappy there. He's holding out of minicamp. I mean, I'm assuming that the price is around the same, I guess, anywhere from a 3rd to a 5th-round pick for him. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's all about preference, right? Would you rather trade an asset for Robert Quinn, or do you not think that JPP and Carlos Dunlap are that much, below him or beneath him? But Quinn, he had like 15 plus sacks last year. So I mean, he had
a monster season.
Amazing.
Yeah, he did. He had a monster season. I mean, they'd love to have him, no doubt about it. But they thought he was dead in the water a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. He became, got a little bit of, I don't know, Chicago juice, whatever. He hit the lake out there and revamped his career. So if he's unhappy, which I don't think, Chicago ain't going nowhere anytime soon, man, as far as they're not in the playoffs. Sorry, Bears fans, but, yeah, I mean, if that's compensation, if that's what it's going to be, 4th-round pick, I'd give that up for him, of course.
I think we're going to have a lot of comp picks this year, and you can trade comp picks now. So
yeah, right.
Why not? Going back to the last segment, what's his name? So Corey Coleman was a 1st-round pick. Josh Gordon was a supplemental draft guy, but he probably would have been a 1st-round pick.
Oh, that's right.
He stayed in a good standing. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this with the edge pickup, because I know what you said. The dates to be looking at would be first week of August. That's the kind of date you'd be looking at, like that time period for these guys to come in.
Let's see. What's the date of training camp? When's the start?
Training camp date. I thought it was like August 12th or something. Training camp.
Has to be probably at the end of July, 1st of August.
Yeah. Says training camp TBD July though.
Yeah, it's usually end of July. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So probably that end of July, probably first week of August. Because you just want a guy to start getting reps in, getting familiar with the team and his teammates and all those different things. That's when you start seeing guys sign. You start signing a little bit before training camp. So hopefully, usually they're getting ready to come in right at training camp. That's how it usually works. So
around that time, so late July is where you kind of want to.
Yeah. I think, man, probably the first day, get a guy in there, just so you can get acclimated with everybody. You get to hear all the speeches and the coaches, and you get to you get to be involved in all those different things, all those aspects of the football field, meeting rooms, and a team. So
yeah. Do you think that Clark not being there for this mandatory minicamp is giving these guys more perspective on we do need another edge? Like it can go either one way or the other, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, either one. So, like I said, it gives everybody more opportunity, but it does put things in perspective, right? Yep. It's like, shoot, man, God. You see it in coaches' faces too. When you see disappointment and cursing and pulling their hair out and they look. If you're not performing, them jokers will let you have it. Believe me, they'll let everybody know. And maybe if they not doing that on the field, meeting room. Woo! Hey man, where'd you play at? This ain't gonna work. I don't know where you played at before, but this ain't it. This ain't happening. This will get you cut. Matter of fact, it'll get me out of a job. And I tell you what, they cut you, they be ready to get rid of me. They get rid of me, I'm definitely gonna get rid of you. Try to tell you, man, it's funny because I just remember all type of meetings and things and sayings that coaches have. I'm gonna say this. I remember Jimmy Ray. Jimmy Ray used to say, he said, "Look, if they get rid of me, I'm gonna take some of y'all with me. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm gonna take some of y'all with me." I was just like, "Dang, God, he for real." He ain't gonna be the only one to casualty of war on this one.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that there was that kind of the opposite of that was when Gunther left Kansas City the last time he went to Detroit, and he got fined for tampering, and because he made a comment because they asked him about picking up Chief players, and he made a comment like, "They keep dropping them, we're gonna keep picking them up," and then like they ended up getting fined. I think they got taken a draft pick away for tampering. It was a 4th round or something like that.
Really?
Because Gunther made that comment.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So last topic tonight. This is something that, like, with mandatory minicamp, you're seeing a lot of highlights being posted of rookies, guys we haven't seen yet. So Skyy Moore making one-handed catches, kind of what we saw in OTAs with the Justin Ross catch. But going into the season, we had so many. We had so many picks this year, and we're kind of relying on a lot of young guys this year. I think we will, between McDuffie, Chanel, Karlaftis, Skyy Moore, even Brian Cook, I think is going to get a lot of playing time in the safety position, and possibly Kennard at right tackle. So there's just so many guys who are going to have significant roles on a team that's been to the AFC Championship game 4 years in a row, which I think is crazy. But what rookie, as of right now, this is super early before training camp, what rookie do you think is going to have the biggest impact going into the season? Right, if you could just pick one.
Woo! Oh man, it's a good question. I'm gonna say Karlaftis, just because of his position. I mean, because we need him so much. We just do. We need him to be stellar, tough. The high motor guy. So we need for him to be the guy. I think McDuffie's going to play lights out ball. I really do. I think he's going to do extremely well out there. I think Skyy Moore is going to do extremely well on his end offensively. I don't know how many he's going to be learning the offense. I think his is going to be more kind of he's not going to have the primary role. He's just going to work in role, just kind of getting familiar with everything and his timing. He's with the whole hamstring pull too. I mean, he's already behind, but you get mental reps. And I think maybe Kennard, if he beats all the other guys out playing right tackle, I think he'll be fine, as well. But I'm looking for, Karlaftis, because that's the guy that we needed more than anything else. To me, our need was defensive end. Okay. And so I think he's going to be the guy. And then McDuffie. So I think them 1-2, it's going to be fine. Now, look, because McDuffie's job is going to be predicated off what Karlaftis does. I mean, it's for real. That's like, so he better need to go over and knock on it. Hey, man, get after the quarterback, please. Okay? You ain't going to leave me out here with all these guys running around. Don't do that. So we're going to have there's going to be a whole lot of wide receivers come through Arrowhead. We're going to go see some.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of the best in the league right now, without a doubt. So, it's going to be a long day from the secondary.
Yeah. If we're not getting back there, and if we have no depth at a pass rush.
Right. Shoot. They talking about Tyreek talking about, you're going to have a long day, Patrick. No. No, sir. They ain't going to have a long day. It's going to be a secondary. We ain't got no pass rush. It's going to have a long day.
Yeah. And I think you're right that with Skyy Moore, because I think a lot of Chief fans are so excited about Skyy Moore that they think he's going to, they think he's going to be the breakout rookie, and he very well might. But I just think what you said, we're talking about impact, Karlaftis is going to be the starting edge right away. Skyy Moore has like 4 other receivers.
Yeah.
You could say 6 other receivers that could, could be getting more touches than him. And,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's for fiddle. Yeah. We got MVS, you got Juju, you got Hardman.
Yeah.
Then it might be Skyy. So that's how it's going to work. That's the rotation. That's the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's cool though because we have so many guys who could make it. We didn't mention Chanel, and I think Chanel is going to be. You see his they take pictures of all the rookie guys. They took a picture of him and he looked. I mean, he's stout, stacked guy coming out of college, but he looks like a mean dude's thick. I mean, his bicep was huge.
Oh yeah. That joker's ripped anyway. Shoot, hey, look. And they might use him as a pass rusher off the edge, right? So he's a guy that without a doubt they could use and say, look, we can put him in when we need to at this position. So now I think he'll be a pleasant surprise, man. I think he will. Especially I think you'll see him making plays on special teams and out there on the field. You're like, wow, we got to steal with this guy, getting him when we did. And he is. He's a good football player. He's a good football player.
I mean, he'll be all over the field based on what everyone's talking about. I mean, and based on what he did in college, he's all over the field, and he's. Oh yeah. I think he ran like a 4.4, high 4.4, or something like that. So
I think so.
Speed.
Yeah.
I mean, our linebackers were athletic as heck between Bolton and Gay and him. One thing I will say, so yesterday, McDuffie and Josh Williams, two of our corners that we drafted, both exited minicamp early. Were exited with a trainer. So and I don't think either one of them practiced today for the second minicamp day. So hopefully it's nothing.
No, yeah, shoot, little Nick.
Little soft tissue.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, it's early. Ain't no sense, doing nothing stupid. We don't need you today. We need you, okay, in September. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I learned that a long time ago. You ain't winning no battles out here right now. Yeah. We need you during September. We drafted you. That's when we need you. Okay. Yeah. You show up then.
Yeah. Especially as a first round pick. So you mean not that you don't have to earn a spot. Everyone's got to earn a spot, but first round picks, you get a little more leeway, especially with McDuffie. Josh Williams, that one, I think that's one where he's probably, he's fighting for a spot essentially to stay on that team. What fifth round pick he was. So
yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. You ain't gonna keep driving a car with bad brakes. So it's gonna happen for a while. So you want to keep doing that, man. Take your time. You can go. Look, as long as he's right for training camp, cool.
Yeah, about a month and a half. So he's got time to get whatever. I didn't see what the injury was, but whatever it was. But all right, fellas, that does it for us. Thanks for everybody for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. We'll see you guys next week, and I promise that we will not have a Tyreek Hill podcast comment unless he's bringing up some of our guys, and we gotta discuss it. So
talk about whatever, man. I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, we can throw anything at JD. JD, we'll take it all.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, we hope everyone has a good weekend. We'll see you guys next week. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.